Did you ever wonder what would happen if the G-man from the Monsterup series replaced the one in the OG? How would that change or affect the story? Because yeah, the fact that this guy has a different and new set of abilities and capabilities, there sure is going to be a huge change. Also, just like it is in the story, he's going to follow all the events of the OG Jimmy to just see how he's going to handle things. So he's going to be the bad guy for our alliance in the earlier parts of the story. Okay, let's start with episode 36. Yeah, I know this wasn't the first time we saw G-man, but come on. In the earlier parts of the show, Jimmy wasn't necessarily active. He just came, caused destruction, and left scenes. Also, you know that if we were to put the Monsterup G-man this early on, it's going to be really chaotic, as he's totally an unfair matchup for the Alliance right now. So let's say he shows up in episode alongside the infected Speaker Titan. Yeah, both of them would be too much of a threat that the Alliance would have to go into hiding. Also, just as in the original story, they would at some point try to uninfect their Speaker Titan, but that wouldn't work out. Everything would pretty much follow the same as it did in the original story, with the TV Titan arriving to the show, helping the agents reduce the pressure, blah blah blah. But everything changes in episode 49. You see, in this episode, the Speaker Titan came to the wasteland. There, the TV Titan had to fight against G-man, but this time it's the Monsterup version he would have to fight. So how would it go? Well, since this is still Cinema Titan, he's gonna be having it rough. Also, as we know, this G-man isn't like the OG that loves to plan ahead. So all of those traps and stuff wouldn't contribute in their battle. It's just gonna be G-man versus the Cinema Titan. And yeah, the Cinema Titan is going to be teleporting away after taking serious damage, and Jimmy would just continue destroying the agents as he did in the original story. I think everything would pretty much go as it did, but there's gonna be even more pressure than usual, and that's a bad thing for the Alliance. As in episode 50, I think the attack ratio would be massive and would even lead to some deaths and loss of technologies. However, the Camera Titan would still step in as he did and take care of everything. Going out to clear other episodes, he would then encounter G-man. I forgot to say that, just so everything would be balanced out, I think Jimmy would have no restrictions or side effects when using the X-18. Yeah, just as you're thinking right now, he's gonna be a beast. But to make it even more accurate, he's gonna get those boosts through upgrades as the story progresses. In his battle against the Camera, let's say he's got his upgraded X form. So how would this clash turn out? Well, firstly, we have to consider the fact that there would be other powerful mutants to back Jimmy up. And yeah, we could say the same for the Camera Titan, but the Skibidi mutants at this time of the story compared to the agent's forces are not even close. And since these two are somewhat equal in strength, then pair that up with the other mutant. I think the Camera Titan would have to take a tactical retreat after taking damage as well. Yeah, just like the TV. But to be fair, he's gonna destroy most of the mutants, with Jimmy being only the main problem. Then the upgraded infected Speaker would show up, and things already take a dark turn. After just being on the agent's side some moments ago, the agents still try to uninfect their Titan, but fail. However, I think the method and way this would play out would be quite different, and scenarios like Plungerman dying wouldn't occur. I don't know if this is a bad thing, because Plunger's upgrade was really useful in the original story, but the sure thing is that he's going to help the agents during these tough times. Also, because of this new change of G-man, there are some plots and scenes that would be unnecessary. Okay, the Camera Titan would be ready after a few episodes and then would immediately start helping out once again, but would then encounter G-man and the Speaker Titan. I think he'd do just fine against them, since he's got a little more update, but it's not going to be enough to take them out. And that's where the TV Titan steps in, and everything instantly changes. The duo Alliance Titans would instantly dominate, and I even think with the help of some agents, they would be able to uninfect the Speaker, which would leave us with G-man running away. And from there, we've got our trio Titans back. With this, everything would pretty much go exactly as it did, except the scene of the scientist attacking, since that's kinda dumb, and he'd just stay back to regroup and counterattack. The base events would be quite different, as Plungerman would be a little weaker than he was in the original story. But regardless, I think they would clear it up, and they would also take out the scientist. The Astros would still be on the show, and the Detainer would face the Alliance Titans, and next with G-man. Now, this battle would be a little different, as there wouldn't be any extra side backups or any tricky whining methods. I'm just saying, but it's gonna be a fair battle of who's the strongest. And we're talking about the X-18 Jimmy, obviously. G-man would dominate. The Astro Juggernaut would then come to save, but here's the twist. Unlike in the OG series, this G-man would fight back, since I think he's gonna still have a lot of energy to do so. The Alliance Titans would then come in, and it's gonna turn into a three-way battle. During this clash, the Alliance would then find out the truth and how the Astros are the real threats. But yeah, they wouldn't believe it right away and would still end up fighting, at least a little. Jimmy would still retreat, and some for the Alliance. From From there on, everything would continue exactly as it did, with the Astros attacking both sides with crazy pressure, destroying most of them. Also, when the Astros, alongside the mothership, attack, the Titans would be able to fight back since they would at least be in a better shape than they were. But eventually, they would be overwhelmed, and the same event would still occur. And like I said, everything would pretty much continue as it did in the original. The Alliance would join forces with the Skibidis, and they would then be able to fight back properly. The TV Titan would then fight against the Juggy, and he would get his ass kicked, like literally. G-man would come to save him, and with his X-18 form, he's gonna be way stronger than the Judgment. But yeah, they wouldn't exactly fight, but would try to sort things out. I said this because both G-men seem to have the same character and way of acting, at least a little. The TV base would get attacked, and the TV Titan would still get infected. Yeah, everything still ended up the same in the end. I guess the Monsterup Jimmy replacing the OG wouldn't change that much in the show, but it's definitely gonna change in the upcoming episode, don't you think? But what do you think? Let us know in the comments. But for now, check out this video on your screen right now.